the magazine.
Hello once again, I'm Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dreher, and I will take a look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing a classic horror story streaming now on Netflix. Oh boy. Joining me tonight is my co-host Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm floating in the dark.
It's the great and powerful Oz.
Feeling kind of classic.
The great and powerful Oz. Also,
I was thinking more of the guy from 13 Ghosts or
that would
House
work
on
too,
Haunted
yeah.
Hill.
House on Haunted Hill, yes. Oh my God. Oh God, now I'm going to try to think of his name. Not
Elijah.
Elijah
Wood Jr.
No, it's not. It's not Elijah Wood.
It's not Elijah Pitts either. Because he was a running back for the Green Bay Packers.
Stop. What? All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead girl. How you doing?
Well, I'm good. I keep thinking about what Jeff does in Decades of Horror 80s, a classic or not so classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. All right, rounding out the crew is the one and only Dave Dreher. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. Did we all survive the classic horror story? I think we all made it through, huh?
But see, not so classic.
It was
Definitely
dubbed and had subtitles.
Classic or
Just in
not so
case,
classic horror story. All right, so. All right, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to give our first impressions of the film. That will be spoiler free, and then we'll dive into a discussion that will contain spoilers, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, a 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But what film are we talking about? We are talking about a classic horror story, Italian film, streaming on Netflix beginning July 14th, 2021. Where did my G go? I don't know. Directed by Roberto and Paolo Strippoli. Written by them and Lucio Besana, I think. Cast includes Matilda, Ingrid, Lutz, Francesco, Russo, Pappino, Mazzotta, Will Merrick, and Yuliia Sobol. I think I did halfway decent.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. No. It's
Okay, just a minute, Doc. Isn't Amityville Horror? Wasn't the family's name DeFeo?
It was.
Yes.
And wasn't the guy that wrote the book named Lutz?
Yep. You're also correct there.
I'm just saying.
That's too rich. Oh my God. All right. The synopsis for this film is in this gruesome suspense film. Strangers traveling in southern Italy become stranded in the woods where they must fight desperately to get out alive. Trainwreck 101. All right. Let's find out what our first impression of this film is. And Dave,
Oh, I get the firsties. Nice. You know, on the surface, this would appear to have Dave hates this film written all over it, because they're saying in the pre-press that this is like Midsommar meets Color Out of Space. And I'm like, man, I really fucking hated Midsommar. And the only thing I hated worse than Midsommar was Color Out of Space. This should be a lot of fun. But actually, I ended up kind of liking this.
Send all hate mail to Dave.
I was surprised. No, I was kind of surprised. I mean, this is okay. I mean, it was dubbed and had subtitles, so that's always fun. Not quite sure what was going on there, and sometimes they spoke English, and other times they didn't. You know, and it's like, it was just kind of weird, messed up that way. But after spending all these years with you guys, I've kind of gotten used to those petty annoyances.
He's growing, folks.
Because we're annoyingly petty sometimes.
But with that being said, at the end of the day, I actually kind of went away kind of liking this. And we'll leave it at that for now until we start talking actually about it. But
wow, I'm kind of impressed. All right, Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts. Your first impression of a classic horror film.
Okay, so this has some really beautiful shots, I will say, and I really liked some of the gore. I enjoyed it. It was pretty well done. I liked the creatures. My biggest problem is the story. It's really ridiculous. I don't want to give anything away. But when you get to the end and realize what the three creatures represent, I laughed out loud. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they went there. But there's like a running theme throughout the movie about, they talk about, this is funny to me. They're like, Italians make the worst horror movies. Italian horror films are the worst and this. And I'm like, well, I mean, we could debate that for sure. Maybe more modern ones. I mean, but I think that we all have some classics that we like. But this is kind of weird I really wasn't expecting something. It's really kind of brutal. And I like it, but I wasn't expecting it. But I didn't feel it went with the story. They kind of lead you one way and you're actually going another. Mm. So I think the acting was good. I think that it was well shot. I just really hated the story. Yeah. I had a lot of I had so many issues with it, and I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. That's just wrong. That's just this. So I'm like, it's rough, because I did find it entertaining watching it. It's just that at my core being, I was like screaming. But yeah, so I mean, I did enjoy watching it. I mean, yeah. I mean, what it opens up and it's got a scene that like catches you, you know? I mean, it kind of has I dare I say it. I'm not going to say that this movie is torture porny, but it does open up and it makes you
definitely has that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it kind of makes you feel that way. And I was like, oh, and then it calms down, and then it, you know, it's got its ebbs and flows. But, you know, I did kind of cherish when the shotgun was coming out of the woodwork. That was fun. I liked it. I liked it.
I like the big spoiler. All right, Jeff Mohr, you're up next. What is your first impression of a classic horror story?
Well, first things first, Elijah Cook Jr.
Cook.
There we go.
Not Woods, but Cook.
Also, just for Dave, I noticed the production company is Colorado Film Production. I don't know if you remember Colorado,
yeah.
Anyway,
people were saying Colorado, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You
know, when this started, I really was like put off right off the bat. I'm like, oh my god, not another teeny bopper movie on a trip, you know?
Teeny bopper.
That shows how old I am. So, so I'm waiting. How obnoxious are they going to be? How stupid things are they going to do? And then, you know, when they get to the setting, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a straight copy of Midsummer. And for some reason, I wasn't even clicking on the title of the movie. But then as it went on, and then when I finally figured out what was going on, I kind of dug it. I kind of liked where it went. And you got to love this Fabrizio character, played by Francesco Russo. That guy was awesome.
He did a great job. Yeah.
So, and the other ones were okay too. I thought, who is it plays Elisa? Matilda, Anna, Ingrid, Lutz.
Yes. I liked her quite a bit.
She was good. It is. But anyway, lost my thought. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way it came out. Go ahead.
She was in Revenge.
Oh, I thought so.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I knew it.
She was the lead?
Okay.
Yeah. She was.
Oh my
I knew it.
How could I not have recognized her?
Well, her hair was straight up blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now. Yeah. So anyway, I kind of like the whole spiel. Now, You're talking about this. What I found out when I started watching it on the screener that we had, you could set it to do almost anything you wanted in terms of subtitles and languages. But once you set it, then you were stuck. Then I had to go back out and come back in to change it again. But I tried doing Italian with English subtitles at first, and there was too many subtitles and too much I wanted to look at. So I wasn't keeping up with the story. So I switched to the dubbing, which I hardly ever do. But it was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Where do I go with this? What was my first impression? I think I'm in Crystal's camp here. The story is kind of, I don't know. I love the characters though. I love that they were, they're on this like an Italian version of this shared Uber ride. And all this craziness happens and they're like, where's the road? The road's gone. And it's like, okay, where are we going with this? And, I for every turn that I go, there was another turn that would go, okay, that's cool. So,
yeah.
Right. So, and there's things that I really liked about this. And when it says it's a classic horror story and there's a trope in it, you give it a pass, right? Because I never felt that, but I don't know. For me, what saved it is Matilda and Ingrid Lutz. She is fantastic in the lead. And well, you know what? I kind of like all five of them. I liked
them all too. I didn't have a problem with any of them.
And I really didn't want any of them to get it, right? But they have to because there's only 5 people to get it. And sometimes it's actually quite brutal what happens to them. Well, I think it might be brutal what happens to all of them, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But there's some twists, and I will suggest that the twist isn't that well concealed. It's straight up out there. But at the same time, you're just waiting, what's happening behind this. At one point there is oh God, Dave's going to hate this scene where they're all at a dinner table. Because it is straight out of
that was very Midsommar,
definitely. But at the same time, it really worked well with the guy singing.
Well, to me, it was weirder than Midsommar.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little more effective than Midsommar was, and they were like when she was like whimpering and Yuliia. It's like that's kind of fucking creepy, actually.
Yeah, it was like a little bit of Texas Chainsaw mixed into it. Yeah, it really throws off, but. I love the house that was out in the middle of the woods.
Oh my God, that was like actually one of my favorite. So, do you think they built it for this? 'Cause
I don't know. It could have been a real house, or it could have been one that.
I don't know. It's like out in the middle of freaking nowhere. It was in the middle of a field.
Yeah, who knows? I think Crystal froze up. Jeff, are you frozen? No, he's moving.
Crystal looks very.
Did I lose you?
Oh no, yeah, you froze up for a hot second there. So
I was like, yeah, okay. So well, I love the house. Yeah,
I dug the really big guy with the, we used to call them BFHs, but I guess this one was a BFM mallet.
God. The mallet. Holy crap!
What's that?
The big guy with the big mallet, the super big mallet.
Yeah, but what's BFH?
Hammer.
Big F and hammer.
Big.
Oh, okay.
It's something you say when you work.
I'm like, what?
Blue collar job, you always tell somebody to go get the BFH, right? Go get the BFH.
Okay, I'm like.
So this is the BFM.
Yeah.
Or it's sort of like BFE. He's out in BFE.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know that. Yes. Yeah. BFE.
But whatever.
Totally.
I
don't construct, so
that's acronym. Acronym instruction here.
I don't construct. Oh my God, Dave, Gore hound that you are. How did the Gore? I'm going to ask you.
I enjoyed the gore. I enjoyed the gore, and for once, I actually enjoyed like the lighting scheme on this. I always bitch about the lighting. Yes. I thought it was very effective in this. I loved how those like red light came on outside and that siren would go off.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what the hell is going on? What is this? And I really enjoyed that. That was the colored lights being used to great effect.
Yeah,
I thought in this, because every time that was like the Jaws theme. Every time that happened, you're like, oh shit,
yep.
Shit.
Remind me of Silent Hill. Every time it was
that foghorn. So, but yeah, the gore was again. Not only was it well done, but it was it made sense. I mean, it was well placed. Let's put it that way. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't gore. It wasn't gore for the sake of gore.
Yeah. Well, both, but it was good, and I like gore, so I was all about that. But really, my only complaint, honestly, is this story, and it's not even the beginning. It's not even what they're doing. It's the whole kicker.
What he's up to, right? Yeah.
No, not that. Not that even.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give it away.
I was going to say, you're going to ruin it if you say it.
Yeah, so I can't. But I was just like...
we probably shouldn't do that one. We won't do that.
Yeah, I was just like, why? Why?
Did anybody not see that coming? I mean, it was definitely telegraphed for me. But
oh, yeah. Oh,
that I wonder if we're talking about the same thing.
We're talking about the camera. Work.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
that's not what I had a problem with.
Are you talking about the three creatures?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and what they represent.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all.
Oh, well, then it's the mafia. The three houses of the mafia.
Oh, that's right. They did say
which they talk about. Yep. They talk about the mafia throughout the thing. So,
I forgot. Yep.
I don't think we can go on here without having Doc do the impersonation of the mask with the tongue hanging out. Doc, we're all waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that was hilarious, man.
Long enough, Crystal.
There you go.
That's better. Yeah.
It was something else. I don't know, but so let's go back to Fabrizio, this crazy driver of the Uber,
Mr. Sweaty Lip.
Oh my god. And uber creepy, liking his Eliza character. And I mean, I don't know. He didn't surprise me at all what was happening.
No.
Well,
I mean, it was kind of obvious of a setup, because why was the other dude driving at all? This never should have happened. Right. The whole thing was, it's very contrived.
Yeah. Pay attention to the dialogue. Everything is told to you what's going to happen in the dialogue.
Yeah, he even says the name of the title of the movie at one point when they're sitting in that camper or whatever. He goes, "Oh, this is like a classic horror story."
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're at our wits' end about talking about this film. It's a fairly straightforward. There's not much depth to the film. It does what it promises, and I think that's what we're here for. So let's find out what our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene may be for this film. But before we do, if you're still hanging with us, we want to thank you for listening to our review. We hope you're enjoying not only this one, but other reviews that we have on the site. And if you'd like to support us, it's easy to do. Crystal, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button.
Like and subscribe and share. Yes. That is not where they are, but and the bell, the notification bell. So you'll know when we
follow what Crystal's doing, and you will be okay.
Yeah. And you should always follow me.
Leave some comments down below, because we want to hear what you think about this. All right, we're going in the same order. So, Dave, you were up first, sir.
Order.
Yeah. What is your first impression?
But you did it again.
Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
I actually ended up enjoying this quite a bit, much more than I anticipated doing. Although you can't say too much. I don't want to give too much away. but I enjoyed the little bit of a twist at the end there when we kind of go into more of a revenge tale. That was kind of cool. I liked all that.
Yes.
It got kind of serious there, and I appreciated that. Gore was good. Never one really for foreign films that much, but again, I'm getting used to that type of stuff. I enjoyed the lighting. I liked the creatures. So, this ended up being a pretty fun ride for me, surprisingly. My favorite scene is, and it's kind of a long one. And I'm not going to go through the whole scene, but it starts with her. Those red lights go off, and she walks out the front door, and there's like 90 people in the front yard of this place, and they're all just staring at her. And then it kind of proceeds like a Wicker Man type of thing almost.
It does. Yeah.
And we get an interesting use of eyeballs. So
we do like that.
I kind of like that. So for that whole scene when she walks out and we see her facial reaction, and then we realize what's going on, all the way to the interesting use of eyeballs. I thought that whole scene was really well constructed and just effed up enough that you couldn't look away.
That's true. Yeah,
so I'm going to give this one, surprisingly, I'm even surprising myself, I'm going to give this one a 3.5.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I thought you were going to go higher than that.
Yeah,
I was giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 3.5 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I liked it, though. Like I said, I had some issues with the story. It's a little ridiculous. Maybe we need to be in Italy to fully understand why that is the basis of the story. I'm confused. But, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to like it. I could honestly see watching this a few times and it becoming kind of a classic. Because I think it's kind of fun. It kind of feels fast, and I really like the pacing of it, so that's kind of nice. Just kind of has that. So, my favorite, I've already talked about. It has to be this because I got excited, and it was the first shotgun. Shotgun heard round the world. I was like, yep, guess you're not talking anymore. Anyway.
Very true.
Very true. All right, Jeff Mohr, sir. Your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene.
Well, I don't think I saw it coming as quickly as everybody else did. I knew something was going on with certain characters, but I wasn't sure what it was right away. And then that dinner scene was just the weirdest friggin' thing. I mean, it was such a bad version of Midsommar. It was almost funny with how.
Who was it? I got lost. I kind of derailed things here for a minute. But who was that lady that was sitting at the head of the table?
She was like the godmother.
Yeah. She was also like the mayor of the town. She was on the news. She was on like a news article as well.
But they did what she commanded, and they all hung their heads and wouldn't eat until she said, it was good. Anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm going 3.5 as well. Crystal took my favorite scene, so
sorry.
I'm torn between the mafia joke, which I really kind of liked, or the I'm going to take the head press with the eye stickers.
Yeah, those.
Oh man,
that had some tension going there.
Yeah, that really did. I like how they kind of stopped for a few minutes and it was like, are we gonna do it or not? Yeah, what the hell? Let's do it.
Crank it down.
Crank it down. All right, I had a good time with this. Is it going to be a classic horror film? I don't know. I imagine some people. For some people, it will be. I'll be curious. I would be curious to find out how well it did overseas. In Italy itself. I think it translates well enough to be, for us Yankees, stateside to watch it. The cast is great. The gore is great. The story is absurd. Like you said, it's silly, but at the same time, it actually has a couple twists in there. Like every once, like every other thing was like, oh well, that's cool. Well, that's fine. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. So it felt shorter than it is, so that's always good, right?
Yeah.
It's always a slog when it feels longer than it is, and we'll talk about that later on a future episode. So I'm going to give let's just go ahead and give it a 3.5 as well. We'll just go all solid.
And it all seems like we felt so differently about it, but I think we actually all kind of felt the same. We just vocalized it differently.
Yeah, and I think the favorite scene I wanted to take is, I think, the same one that you mentioned. I think that's what you're referring to, is when our heroine comes out and confronts the
girl.
That. Okay, no, mine's
that's why I said not talking anymore.
Oh, I do like. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I like. So mine's the one after that. After that, and it just needed to happen. And it was a joy to watch it. Actually.
I wanted to see it more full frontal. Well, you know what I mean.
That's a different classic story.
Spelled differently. So and we know that Matilda and Ingrid Lutz can handle, her guns. So revenge. Anyway, so there you go. That's our review for A Classic Horror Story. It is streaming now on Netflix. Check it out and let us know what you think in the comments down below. Crystal, Dave, Jeff, thank you for hanging out with me. This was, as always, fun.
This was
You're
fun.
welcome, and thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, boy.
That was the grossest thing I ever heard.
And just like that, we're banned from YouTube.
I know.